It is hard to fathom that Max Verstappen is still only 25 years old, and at the peak of his career, the Dutchman possesses a serious potential to become one of the best drivers in the history of the sport. His exceptional driving skills have helped him make the most of Red Bull's machinery. What's Verstappen's driving style, and what do some of the sport's most legendary drivers think of Max Verstappen? Stay tuned to find out. The reason behind Max Verstappen's unprecedented level of fame is the Dutch driver's aggressive driving style. The same driving style that made Michael Schumacher the driver he was. When it came to wheel-to-wheel battles, Michael Schumacher never gave an inch to his rivals. Was there ever a time when he crossed the line? He did, without a doubt, but wherever he could, he would give his rivals the bare minimum that was possible and no more. This manner of driving was frequently regarded as risky, and some even considered it unsporting. As a result, the German driver would often be subjected to a significant degree of scrutiny. Max Verstappen too has employed a similar crash or yield style, and some have criticised him. While some onlookers have criticised Verstappen's aggression in the past, Sebastian Vettel believes it is a vital part of the world champion style. The four-time world champion said aggressive driving is one of his strengths. Also, Verstappen's approach to a race weekend is relentless. He ensures that each and every potential of the car is extracted. Max's focus is always on maximising the result as much as possible. Max Verstappen has become far more cerebral in his approach ever since the accident that occurred during the qualifying round in Monaco in 2018. He has been more focused on maximising returns from each race, and if a win is not an option, he strives to earn the best possible result he can. He has been doing this more recently. Because of his remarkable racing style and approach to each race, which have made him outstanding over the years, several Formula One legends have voiced their opinions about him. Here are what some of the greatest names in Formula One are saying about Max Verstappen. Before we talk about F1 legends' comments about Max, I know you're enjoying this video. So for you to not miss out on my other amazing videos, hit the subscription button and give the video a thumbs up. It's that easy. Thanks for doing that. Let's move on. After Max Verstappen made his Formula One debut at the age of 17, his meteoric rise became the talk of the town. Commentators and Formula One drivers had differing opinions regarding whether or not a driver of such a young age could handle the pressure of competing at such high speeds and in the most popular series in motorsport. One of the most prominent voices was that of Mika Hakkinen, who won the World Championship twice. The former McLaren driver said it's too young because in F1 the risk is high. In F1, you don't go to learn, you have to be ready. F1 doesn't allow you to do too much learning. It was probably appropriate for the Finn to raise the issue, considering that Verstappen was not even old enough to drive legally on the roads in his home country, Netherlands, let alone race in an F1 vehicle with 810 brake horsepower. After winning 2 F1 World Championships, Verstappen has more than proven himself in the sport, and Hakkinen has acknowledged that he was wrong. Hakkinen explained how mistaken he was during a speech at an event, stating, "I criticised him personally when he was entering Formula One, thinking he was too young, but I was really happy I was wrong." Max, obviously, it's great what he has been doing, and time has changed. Young people more and more are going into higher sports categories, including business, including everything. Yes, of course, the teams are much more organised today than in the past. More management, the concept is much more organised. It's a little bit easier to join this big world, but nevertheless, you need great talent and commitment, and great discipline to be successful. Max obviously has done a great job. As his current contract of around $220 million is set to expire in 2028, Verstappen has stated that he will leave Formula One racing sooner rather than later. After winning his second world title last week in Japan, the Dutchman said, "It can be a long time, but in the end, I don't see myself driving until I'm 40 because I will also want to do other stuff." However, Formula One legend Felipe Massa thinks Verstappen will continue racing for a long time. The former Ferrari driver said, "It's always easy to answer questions like this after you've won a title, but Max just loves racing. He's really not going to stop when he's 31 or 32. Of course, it depends on whether the car is competitive and whether it can compete for the title." Felipe Massa also praised the Red Bull driver and said he believes he can easily be the greatest in Formula One. Massa said, "I can say that Verstappen is in the top 5 of the best drivers of all time, but he can easily become number 1. He has all the necessary talent, just like Senna, Fangio, Schumacher, and Hamilton." Mario Andretti, one of the most successful drivers in the history of motorsport, has accomplished a remarkable achievement that one other driver has accomplished before him. He has triumphed in races at the Formula One, IndyCar, and NASCAR levels in addition to the World Sports Car Championship. Andretti is a champion himself, so it stands to reason that he knows a thing or two about winning. In a recent interview, Mario praised Max Verstappen for successfully defending his title and expressed his confidence that the Dutch driver will continue to dominate the grid for some time. Andretti said, "He's a tough one to beat at the moment, and that looks like it's there for the foreseeable future for sure." Commenting on where he feels Verstappen's greatest strengths lie as the Dutch driver builds an enviable legacy within the sport, Andretti said he believes the Red Bull driver is now a fully polished competitor. He said, "He's where he needs to be right now. I mean, he's complete. That's all I can say. When he is so capable in qualifying, that's a premium where you start up front in Formula 1. And then his racecraft is superb. Of course, a lot of credit to the team there, because the strategies are always right on. When you have all that going for you, that's it." According to the 1978 title winner, Max Verstappen is a perfect example of an F1 world champion. After Max won his first Formula 1 championship, Max Verstappen was hailed as the sport's future king by Formula 1 legend David Coulthard. David Coulthard, he's an exceptional human, an exceptional athlete. He's brilliant and divisive. Who else do we know that's brilliant and divisive? Ayrton Senna and Michael Schumacher, to name but a few. So some have been able to do it. In the most intense moment of the season, which took place in Abu Dhabi a year ago, Verstappen demonstrated his ability to maintain his composure. Coulthard said, "In fairness to Lewis, he's been able to win an amazing amount of championships in a very clean way. He hasn't really had too much controversy. With the might of Mercedes and Lewis, Max has had to arguably come with a different approach. His approach is, wherever there is a door partially open, he'll go for it. And Lewis has to keep opening up the door, because he knows he's coming, and that's got in the psyche of Lewis." Pedro Martinez de la Rosa is a former Spanish Formula 1 driver who competed for the Arrows, Jaguar, McLaren, Sauber, and HRT teams during his time in the sport. He competed in a total of 107 Grand Prix during his career. In March 7, 1999, he made his debut in Formula 1, and in his first race, he scored a point, making him one of 76 drivers to do so on their debut. La Rosa also has something to say about Max Verstappen. He said, "Max is fantastic to watch. He is smart, aggressive, and fast. Max is all in one. I think Max has everything it takes to become one of the best of all time in Formula 1. He has all the qualities, that's for sure. Only time will tell which teams he will drive for and how competitive those teams will be in the next 10 years, but Max has everything it takes to become the best." According to De La Rosa, Max Verstappen is the most talented Formula 1 driver competing in the sport today. Verstappen and Leclerc were the two main protagonists for the 2022 F1 title. And when comparing the two drivers, De La Rosa held a great appreciation for them both, but ultimately decided to go with Verstappen because of his experience and maturity in the sport of racing. De La Rosa added, "I think they are comparable in terms of raw speed. They are very fast, especially over a lap, and on top of that, they are very clever. The biggest difference is that Max is much more in control. He really doesn't make any mistakes, and I don't even mean a spin or a crash, but how often do you see him lock a wheel?" Now, over to you. What's your thought about Max Verstappen's driving skill and his achievement in Formula 1 over the years? Let me know in the comments section below. That will be all for today's video. Thanks for staying tuned. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you can always get to watch more amazing videos like this. See you in the next video.